Hello everyone. In this video, I have with us a batchmate of mine from IIT Kharagpur, and he recently did an NLP internship at MIT. Now, listening to MIT, I had to do a podcast with this guy. So, Ankon, why don't you introduce yourself to my audience?
My name is Ankan Viswas. I am a fourth year undergraduate student at IIT Kharagpur of the Department of Electrical Engineering, and I am enrolled in its dual degree course of Instrumentation and Signal Processing Engineering.
Okay, awesome. You did an NLP intern, but before all of that, how did you get started with machine learning, and what got you interested in machine learning?
Yeah, so that's a pretty interesting story actually. Like right from my childhood, or when in higher classes in school, so I had a very deep interest in mathematics and statistics. So that is like kind of the love of my life during the
Right,
childhood years, and I was never too much into engineering or electrical, this kind of things. So
right,
in KGP, as most of us know, the people who are here, that data analytics or ML, these are kind of the buzzwords. So
right.
whenever people come on campus, they freshers or second years, they get to hear a lot about it. And we have these OpenIT and GC events as well. In my
Mm.
first year, like when I was just 2 or 3 months into the KGP, so there was this OpenIT data analytics event that was taking place. And just out of curiosity, I mean, back then I had like zero idea about what all this
Mm.
is about. I didn't even know what data analytics meant. So
Right, right.
just out of curiosity, I attended the event, which took place at a hall level mostly. So there I got an experience to see that what it is, and my seniors were really helpful and all. And while being a part of that team, I got to understand. Okay, so this is basically just applying the knowledge of mathematics, statistics, and linear algebra, these kind of things, and along with some Python coding and all this. So you can do really cool stuff and all. And after that, I took some help from the seniors who were a part of the team or others as well. And online courses are there, of course. So I really thought that this was something that really matches my interest and line of thought. And so I mean, right from then, I was pretty focused that this is the path that I would be willing to take, and so that's how it started.
Okay, like you mentioned that you took the help of your seniors, you mentioned some online courses. So can you mention some resources that you used to get to this level, like right from basics till advanced?
Yeah, sure, sure. One of the most popular courses that probably everyone who has any idea about what ML is, the Andrew NG course that's
Right.
available both on YouTube as well as Coursera or whatever. So
Hmm.
that is what I'd say now is that that is not a very good resource for a learning purpose, but it helps someone to get an interest in ML, or give a broad overview about what the things are. So
Right,
people can actually judge or feel that, okay, if I am willing to dive deeper into it or not. So, and
right.
after that, there are some more courses, like there's one by a Stanford University professor, I forgot his name, but that is also pretty popular on YouTube. That's there.
Okay.
And along with that, there are courses on Udemy and all. So like I personally did one called hands-on machine learning A to Z
A
on
to Z
Udemy.
one, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, right, right.
Okay.
So that is another popular one. But
Hmm.
after that, what I would say is that so A to Z is more kind of focused on the practical part.
Practical
Like it
part.
helps you
Right.
actually how you can do a project, or take part in a competition, or actually solve a problem in that sense. And some it glances upon some concepts as well.
Hmm.
So the prerequisites are now probability and statistics. That is definitely important. Along with that, linear algebra basic levels are important, because even for the most simple algorithm like linear regression, if we talk about it, so behind it the maths working is mostly based on linear algebra, inversion of matrix, all these things. So these are prerequisites most of us cover in our first year syllabus mostly. So that is there, and along with that, like how I have studied after that is just taking topic by topic. Because let's say if I am choosing, let's say I want to finish the basic ML algorithms one by one. So after
Hmm.
I'm done with this prerequisites, if I just type in the name of an algorithm like say KNN or logistic regression or whatever, so
Right.
there are like dozens of resources on Google. And what I did was like look up some 3 4 articles based on each of this topic or algorithm whatever I'm studying, and that gives a really good overview, or rather a pretty detailed one. And it always helps to study from multiple articles as such, because there's always something new that you can learn, and also some common things will be there, so you get a really broad understanding. And what I feel is that after maybe just the starting part, and once you're getting you know if you want to make a career in it, I think it's really important to know what is actually going on behind it. That is the math
Right.
part. I
There's a
really
math
stress
behind it.
on that,
Yep.
because it's not too difficult to complete a project or even take part in a competition. But
Mhm.
if you really want to understand or end up winning these competitions or grab good concepts, so that is where the math part comes in, and that's what I focused more on.
Okay, so like you mentioned that you only did the basic courses, and after that it was all articles and here and there and topic wise. So after that you did not do any kind of course, say on deep
Uh,
learning, NLP, or you learned all of that through articles only.
Yes, yes. Because what I gained from this basic courses was that I knew the path that I had to follow. That,
Right.
before I dive into, say, reinforcement learning or some of the higher concepts like, say, deep learning,
Mhm.
I need to know a few things before that, or say even before the ML algorithms, I need to know things like data pre-processing or what is the bias variance trade-off. So I just kind of formulated this pathway that I had to follow. That these things I need to study, and so then I looked it up because, as I said, detail always helps in this part.
Okay, awesome. Now coming on to your NLP intern at MIT. So how did you apply for this? Like, I'm very curious.
Yeah, so this took place during the months of November to December 2020. So it's almost a year back or so.
Right.
How I got to know is that one of the people whom I know through KGP, he's like passed out some 3 4 years ago. He's at MIT now, or at least was 1 year ago. So he let me know, or in a group actually, it was posted that there's this vacancy for some NLP regarding internship at MIT. So I was obviously interested, and I just
Hmm.
applied to it. So the process, it was a pretty lengthy one. So first there was the CV submission thing. After that, I guess some people were shortlisted. So the way in which this selection procedure of MIT was unique was that they straight away gave a task. That is, it was a snippet kind of thing, and it was based on NLP only, but more or less basic stuff. And I was given 3 to 4 days time on it and had to submit, a proper Jupyter notebook sort of thing today. And then they reviewed it for a week or so, and after that, there was a pretty lengthy, some 1 to 1.5 hour interview on Skype with 2 3 professors out there under whom I actually work, and then the onboarding process.
Okay, so quite a strenuous process. So, and the task they gave you, was it anyway related to your internship?
No, I think what they wanted to test was whether I would be able to carry out that or not. It was related to NLP only. Like
Mhm.
it was a basic, very simple task, like just building a classification model based on text data. That was what they wanted to see, and how well I performed that. Like the accuracy and all was close to 98 or 99, something I could achieve. So that helped, I guess.
Okay, awesome. So, like having a very high accuracy score obviously helped you. And like in the interview, what all did they ask?
Yeah, so this interview was, as I said, and this is where I feel that the way I prepared myself really helped, because they focused totally on concepts. Like
Okay.
NLP was something I was not personally very confident of at that point of time, because I
Mhm.
had not dealt too much of it at that point of time. Now I am more experienced, obviously, but even then they went really deep into it. Like say I had already submitted the Jupyter code, the Python code to them, as I
Mhm.
told you. So I was asked to explain literally each and every line and what each of them was doing,
Okay.
and alongside that they also asked this mathematical stuff and all those. So they really, as expected, kind of, because it's MIT. So uh, really, they went really deep as much as possible.
So when
But
you,
again, like
yeah.
concepts and maths was everything.
Okay, so when you're applying for these research internships, concepts are absolutely essential. Like you cannot just do everything.
Ah,
Just model
yes, yes,
लगा
yes.
दिया हो गया. That won't work.
Right, right, right. This is probably apt for most research internships, like if you're working for a university or something, because those things really come handy and are somewhat different from what industry or the company expects of it.
Okay, awesome. So now let's talk about like the work, kind of work that you did and like what purpose was this work used for? Because MIT does a lot of projects. So how did you
Right, right,
help
right.
and what did you work on?
Yeah, so actually the project continued even after I left, because I had this 2 months duration with my classes and all starting from January again. So it went on after that.
Right.
So there were 2 or 3 professors, and it was actually, this project was focused on India only. Some, like, the data
Okay.
base was based on India. That is why probably they prefer Indian students as well. And there was one professor from ISB as well, Indian School of Business, Hyderabad.
Hmm.
And along with that, there's a journalist called Miss. Her name is Miss Vasundhara Sarnet. She is the founder of something called the Police Project. So it deals with basically violent incidents and all, like related to journalists. You can actually look her up on Wikipedia as well. So there's some pretty awesome work she has done as well. Now my
Hmm.
task was basically it dealt with newspaper data, like Times of India
Okay.
data of some last 30-35 years that had been collected already by them, and I had to work on it. So the basic task was trying to identify incidents of violence from this entire database of newspaper that we had. Now after that, so this was basically kind of a classification task, and after
Hmm.
that, what we had to do was, segment it further, like incidents of communal violence,
Okay.
say mob violence, or some instigated by political parties, this kind of things. So
Hmm.
there was this fine tuning and all going on, and along with that, try and find the yearly trends or something. If at certain points of time, uh, certain events triggered, like maybe in some months, maybe just before an election or something. So
Right.
this kind of things as well. And also there's something called ALDA model, we say. So that is called
Hmm.
topic modeling. Topic modeling is
Hmm.
another broad domain of NLP. So that was also there. And finally, one task that I wasn't actually able to complete, and the next guy took over. That was like once we are done with identifying the violent cases. So let's say we'd also try to identify the number of fatalities in each of those cases, like, and all of this using code only. So
Okay.
that was the purpose till what I know, and after that some work went on as well. So it was a really interesting project, and it did seem a bit challenging at first, but till that I'd say that it has been the most enriching experience that I have had in terms of the work that I did.
Right, awesome. And now you're also going to intern at Fractal Analytics next summer. So I hope that this internship would be like this was a stepping stone kind of for you to
Right,
get
right.
that internship at Fractal through CDC as well. So like, can you give out some final tips maybe for people who are trying to get into data science and maybe trying to get their first internship in data science, machine learning, computer vision, NLP, anything? Maybe some final tips for the students out there.
Definitely. So, if someone is planning for the first internship, then I think it's tough or almost impossible to get into these big shot
Mhm.
companies or these universities. I mean, it's expected, but again, I feel that for first internship, it should be taken more as an experience or a learning curve sort of a thing. So people should be more open to say like startups, or not so like the top 50 QS university or those kind of things, because that can be a stepping stone for this purpose, like you also pointed out. And
Right.
for that, I think that the preparation part is again kind of dependent on the person who is preparing, but there are some paths that you need to follow. Now you can take courses from even KGP or the college you're studying, or online courses, or the path that I followed, that is totally up to them. And it also depends on what part is strong. Like I already was pretty confident about the mathematical part, and that's why I
Mhm.
could straight away skip the probability statistics thing and spend more time doing that. So, but yeah, the basic, that prerequisite stuff will always come back to haunt you if you are not thorough enough with that. So that is where I always stress when talking to anyone who asks for suggestions regarding this. And regarding internships, I think like you have to keep an open mind. Like, do not narrow it down that okay, I will apply only for these companies
Mhm.
or these particular universities. LinkedIn is of course there, and everyone has a decent college network as well. So if one just keeps his eyes open and just applies, the first part is the first internship, as I said, that should be more of an experience, so keep yourself open. And after that you can definitely once, because by the time I was applying for MIT, I already had a pretty decent CV, I would say. So
Mhm.
that is a prerequisite as well. And for these big companies, you need to, or universities, you need to have good knowledge and grasp, because at the interview stage or the written test or code, whatever it is, you will get stuck. So by then that part has to be really clear. But and right now, I mean, AIML is a really, I mean, expanding field
Expanding.
with more and more opportunities. So there's no lack of opportunities in this field, definitely.
Okay, so thank you so much, Ankan, for doing this. I hope that people are going to love this, and I'm sure this was very inspiring for them to watch. So thank you so much for coming here, and I hope you enjoyed this as well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Thank you, Nilan, for having me as well.